right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Balmy breeze. More record highs will fall across the bi-state region Tuesday, but it's a quick reality check by Wednesday, where thunderstorms may develop before the colder air moves in.
A school bus driver sick out leaves St. Louis City parents scrambling. Tonight, 2 workers come forward with claims of racial attacks inside the bus barn. First tonight, held captive inside a church.
Unfathomable. I cannot believe that happened so close to my home.
One woman's claim a South City sanctuary was her torture chamber. Good evening, I'm Mike Bush. Kelly Jackson is off tonight. Tonight, 3 men are behind bars. The woman told police they kidnapped her, held her against her will, and beat her. Our Robert Townsend went to the South City neighborhood near Marceau Street and Minnesota Avenue tonight to try and find out more about this disturbing case. Robert.
Mike, people I talked to have mixed reactions to the alleged torture one woman says she experienced at Mount of Olives Ministry. Mount of Olives Ministry sits on a hill behind this sprawling white fence near Marceau and Minnesota in South St. Louis. Neighbors say the church has been here for the past 3 years. It's behind this neighbor's home.
They were actually in services yesterday. I heard the sound and the kids outside playing, so it didn't seem as if anything was out of the ordinary.
Last Wednesday, police say they went to the church and made a disturbing discovery. Officers say they responded to a woman's call for help around 1:30 that morning. According to a probable cause statement, the woman was tied up with rope and bleeding from her head.
That is unfathomable. My heart aches for her.
I think it's horrible.
The woman told officers she was held against her will inside a room at the church. Court papers reveal police found a bottle of water and a bucket filled with feces and urine.
Had I known anything, seen anything, I probably, of course, would have said something and kind of like helped her.
The neighbor says several police officers were parked down the street from the church on Friday night.
Not sure what they were doing, but they were here for an extended period of time.
The woman identified these 3 men as her captors. The suspects are each charged with second-degree kidnapping and third-degree assault. Neighbors believe people do live at the church. When we stopped by, no one answered the door.
They're not coming to the door. They're always there. That's why I said this is odd.
I just hope that she makes a full recovery and that she's able to really get some justice.
Police did not say how long or why the woman was held captive. Now, I also called the number for the pastor that was posted on a sign outside the church, but as of now, I have not heard from her.
A mild February night across St. Louis. We hit a record high of 80 degrees today, and it's going to be even warmer tomorrow. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell is tracking the record warmth and the chances of spring-like storms in his Weather First forecast.
I think we're pretty sold on the record happening tomorrow and being broken. 79 is our record high for the day, and we're thinking about 83, 84 in St. Louis. At this moment, we are still in the 60s around St. Louis. We do have some high clouds that are rolling in, but it's relatively quiet across the area at this hour. Temperatures have dropped slowly through the 60s tonight. We still have a bit of a breeze, and there are a few isolated showers developing now as those clouds increase back here over parts of the Ozarks. Not impressive on radar now and not likely to become impressive overnight, but along and south of Interstate 70, the potential's certainly there through the overnight hours as this little disturbance slides on to the east, where we could get a brief thunder shower or thunderstorm, but most of us are not going to get rain out of that. And to be honest, most of us aren't going to get rain out of that cold front passage when it happens tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, even though it's an intense storm and it has warmth to work with. 84 for the high tomorrow in St. Louis. So just a slight chance that we'll see a storm, and then it's a cold wind as we head into Wednesday. We'll track all the changes for you coming up in just a few minutes, Mike.
And remember, you can get the latest Weather First forecast anytime. Just text the word weather to 314-425-5355. We'll send it straight to your phone. Tonight, a man is dead in Jefferson County after deputies shot him while serving a warrant. It happened at a mobile home park on Montauk Drive near Festus. According to the sheriff's office, deputies were trying to serve an arrest warrant on Anthony Stratman Jr. He was accused of making terroristic threats against judges. Investigators say he grabbed a hammer and refused orders to drop it. Deputies tried to tase him first before opening fire. Stratman later died at the hospital. None of the deputies, we're told, were hurt. Tonight, 2 people are in jail after a police chase that ended near Busch Stadium. Police used spike strips to stop the car before it hit a Tesla at 8th and Clark. Officers say the people inside the stolen car threw 2 guns out the window on I-64 near Jefferson. It's not clear at this hour if anyone was hurt. Tonight, ongoing issues for St. Louis public school officials and families after dozens of drivers called in sick today to the Missouri Central Bus Company. 5 on your side's Diamond Palmer has new details on how these calls will be a problem again tomorrow. Diamond.
Well, Mike, the drivers at Missouri Central Bus Company say they called in solidarity with their coworkers, the mechanics. And the mechanics say this is all because of alleged racial discrimination. St. Louis Public Schools replying and saying they're, quote, caught in the middle of an ugly dispute.
These type of gestures and props are just a message for what is to come.
Eileen Mitchell is a mechanic at Missouri Central Bus Company who says he's endured racial slurs and harassment day in and day out since starting 2 months ago. He says he's reported it to his job's HR, and he says after that is when a noose was left in his work bay.
Nobody came up to me to apologize about that I found a noose. Nobody came to acknowledge that for how hurt I am, how much pain, or how traumatized I am.
On Monday, dozens of bus drivers called in sick, forcing the district to make other arrangements. Parents like Michelle Morgan had to pick up her son Monday because of the disruptions to the bus service.
It sucks.
Eileen coworker spoke to 5 on Your Side anonymously, saying this is just one example of the alleged racial discrimination.
And I've been in the industry for years, and seeing the news is nothing to me of the things that I've seen and the things I've heard.
Missouri Central responded in a statement by saying in part, there is zero tolerance for any behavior that violates policy. As such, we are hiring an independent third party this week to investigate these allegations. The bus company's employees say the allegations even include being left out of job promotions, which they believe is because of their race. The district spokesperson says it's unclear if the bus walkout will be resolved, and they said it can't guarantee bus rides to or from school for Tuesday, but after-school programs would run as normal, and athletics on a case-by-case basis for each school. The district goes on to apologize for the inconvenience.
Wherever you go, it's always going to be race somewhere. You just have to know how to deal with it and just ignore it and just keep it pushing.
Now, Eileen says he's giving Missouri Central 2 weeks to investigate his and his coworkers' alleged discrimination. He says if not, that's when he's willing to take it to the NAACP. Reporting live in St. Louis, Diamond Palmer, 5 on Your Side.
Tonight, the Lindbergh School District is firing back at a cease and desist letter it received from Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey. The letter claims the district uses race-based criteria for students who want to get into the gifted program. In a statement, district officials say, quote, we are deeply disappointed that he did not reach out to us first to obtain accurate information before posturing on social media with a statement that is not grounded in facts. Bailey also sent a letter to Parkway schools accusing the district of preventing students from forming religious-based clubs. And he accuses Webster Groves of breaking state and federal law in its hiring practices. You can read the full responses from Parkway, Lindbergh, and Webster Groves on KSDK.com. Over the last decade, 180 Missouri school districts have switched to a 4-day schedule. Tonight, Fox C6 in Jefferson County asked parents for their thoughts on making that switch. 5 on Your Side's Holden Kerwicki has more on the story from Arnold.
Tonight, Fox C6 School District held the first of 3 listening sessions to weigh the pros and cons of moving the district to a 4-day school week over what they're calling budgetary concerns.
Fox has not had an operating levy increase in approximately 20 years.
We've lost about 800 students over the last 10 years, and we're projected to continue to lose between 500 and 800 students over the next 10 years. In addition, the COVID funding is going away.
According to Fox Superintendent Dr. Paul Fregeau, switching to a 4-day school week would save the district somewhere between $2.5 and $3.2 million per year. As for where those savings would come from,
mileage on your vehicles, the diesel you use, wear and tear on your buses, it's 20% less. fewer subs, fewer absences. PD time, as he mentioned, can be on Monday, so we're not pulling people out of class.
Though it's unclear what a 4-day schedule would look like at Fox, district leaders say students would receive the same amount of instructional time as they do under the current 5-day model.
If they're talking longer days, it's hard to keep their attention enough as it is.
That's just one of the many concerns we heard from parents.
A lot of people that I know would have difficulty with childcare.
If we've learned one thing from the pandemic, it's that butts in seats matter, and that our children need to be in school 5 days to maximize their academic achievement.
If they choose to go a longer school year, that might work, or year round.
If you weren't able to make it to tonight's listening session, Fox C6 has 2 more scheduled, the next of which is being held on March 6th, right here at the Fox Service Center off of Jeffco Boulevard. Reporting in Arnold, Holden Krawicki, 5 on your side.
Tonight, loved ones gathered in Midtown at the scene of a horrific crash that claimed 4 young lives 1 year ago. 4 others were hurt in the hit-and-run crash. The anniversary comes just days after Cedric Dixon was sentenced to 10 years in prison as part of a plea deal. Courtney McKinley was injured in the crash. His brother was killed, and he wants a harsher sentence.
10 years not enough. He can get back out and see his mama in the next couple years, man. My brother can't never come see my mama or me.
Dixon's attorney says he's remorseful and offered to take the maximum sentence. Just hours ago, St. Louis Mayor Tishaura Jones outlined her Economic Justice Action Plan to the St. Louis Reparations Commission. The plan targets funding for underserved in areas in North St. Louis and parts of South St. Louis.
In my eyes, the Economic Justice Action Plan is rooted in the need for restorative justice in our communities. And this plan is being touted in other cities as an example of a roadmap to use for reversing the harms of the past.
Mayor Jones formed the St. Louis Reparations Commission by executive order back in December of 2022. He was the Blues' tough man on the ice. Now he's fighting a tough battle.
I fought my whole life for people, for other people.
Tonight, Kelly Chase opens up about his fight against cancer and his all-star support system. It's a popular feature for drivers, especially in treacherous weather.
Living in Missouri, you can get all of the seasons at once.
Tonight, the benefits of all-wheel drive and whether it's an upgrade you really need.
A strong cold front is motoring towards us, when it moves through, and the drastic changes that come behind it.